Alright, I want to make this short and sweet. I'm creating this video for people who record with the Atamos Ninja and using the FX30 or the FX3. And I want to tell you my experience at the best settings that's going to give you the best results. I haven't seen a video out there that shows you that, and so I thought I'd make one. And so let's get started. Okay, first of all, I'm not going to get into how you customize your menus and all that stuff. This is going to be just straightforward on how to set up your FX30, FX3 with the Atamos Ninja. And this is the Atamos Ninja 5 Plus because this will allow you to go 4K 60 frames per second at or 120 frames per second in ProRes RAW. So let's get this started here. First settings you're going to do is you're going to go into okay, when you're shooting with the Ninja, you can't really do anything with the movie settings here. Log shooting you can. I shoot in log. This is going to be Cine IE that I'm shooting. You can shoot flexible ISO or just straight out of the camera, you know, normal shoot with maybe a picture profile like Cinetone or something like that. But we're going to stick with Cine EI. This is the best way to go, and I'm going to use S-Gamer 3 Cine S-Log3. We're not going to embed the LUT. That's just for the metadata stuff. That doesn't really embed the look of the LUT into your video. What this does is puts in the metadata, so you know, for various reasons, so you can like find out what this was shot in. So in case you were doing the shooting and someone did the editing, you could have the embed LUT and they could look and see in the metadata what you chose for formats and stuff to shoot this in. Okay, so here's the thing. Let's start off with high ISO noise reduction. I always set that to normal. The anti-flicker, you're going to have to use that, and what you're going to do is you set in here, as you see the numbers changing, 119.9. I'm going to have a little description telling you about that, because in most cases when you shoot, like let's say 4K 60 frames per second, you would shoot at 125 shutter speed. But if you're shooting indoors and you're powering lights with the AC power, you're going to get flicker. You're going to see banding. So I always turn this to specific shutter angles. And for 4K 60, it's 119.9. For 4K 30, it's 59.9, and so on. And so here we are with that. Let's go to one of the big main settings here is HDMI resolution. Always leave it at 2160 if you're going to shoot 4K. Let's see here. When we go into the HDMI output settings, you have to turn this to off, HDMI only, or you won't be able to record 4K. I'm going to show you right here. Notice that if I have this on and it's not HDMI only, notice that the 4K is going to be gone. It's not going to be there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this off. Okay, so we're not in ProRes RAW. Okay, so the HDMI output settings, you have to set this to off, HDMI only. And the reason for that is because here is you could select what shutter, what frame rate, 60 frames per second. Okay, so that's the most important thing. Okay, next we're going to go into metering mode. Now metering mode, I set this to spot, because if you don't, if you choose center, or you know, the entire screen, or multi or something like that, you're not going to get a correct meeting. Like say if you're shooting people, subjects, if you're shooting a model or something like that, or wherever it is, you're going to need to set this to spot, because it's not going to get the skin tones meted properly, and you're not going to get a correct reading. So I leave that on spot standard. Okay. White balance, I use the temperature. I do not set auto white balance. I don't think you can anyway, but that would be a stupid thing. The LUT, I just use the S709 LUT that's built into it. And let's see here. Okay. Now for focus mode, it's continue autofocus, obviously. Tracking sensitivity, you can set to your liking, but I set the sensitivity to 3, which is which is like, it's gonna, if you have it down to responsive and you switch views, you pan the camera, it's gonna, when it finds something to put autofocus on, it's gonna do it right away. And if somebody actually passes your subject or something like that, it's going to grab them instead of who you're shooting right away. And you don't want that. At number 3, you have this. It takes a couple seconds before it's going to let go autofocus what you're focusing on at the moment to something that may come across the screen. If you have it one locked on, it'll take maybe 15-20 seconds or something like that. That's if you really want it to stick. I leave it on 3. The speed, that's how fast you want it to start focusing. You could just have it, respond right away, bam, or you could just have it gradually. Number 1 being the slowest, and number 7 being the fastest. I keep it on the fastest for what I'm shooting, because I'm panning the camera all the time and moving the camera around. Pre-autofocus, I don't leave that on. Now, I detect face on, face off. I don't have that set to on because I have it set as a button, but now it's set on, and I do leave that on unless I'm not shooting a person. So then I just switch my my area to centered area and focus on that way. This is if you want to track animals, bird or human. Obviously, it's a human if you're shooting a person. And this is the HDMI output settings again. And so that's for focusing right there. Let's go back to the actual focusing menu. Now, the focus area limit. The things you want to check and uncheck. You just want to check the first 3, which is area limit, zone, and center fix. The spot and the expanded spot, you do not want that, because expanded spot takes priority. So if you're trying to do eye or face focus tracking, expanded spot's going to take priority, and you could actually lose focus on your subject that you're trying to focus on. So you don't want to have that at all. So you uncheck that, so you make that unavailable. Okay, so anyway, to make a long story short, you're going to want to set wide, zone, and center fix. That's the only ones that you want. So stick with that. The focus area color I set to white, doesn't really matter. Do not circulate, and the rest is explanatory. You want obviously face eye detect on, human, left eye, right eye. I have it set to auto. It doesn't matter which eye. And you want to have face eye frame displacement. You want that on, and you also want register face priority in case you have a face in the database for that you want to take priority. So let's take a look here. I'm gonna go into here. So I got this set. I'm gonna actually go right here and I'm gonna turn this on so you can see this is what you want set. You want to set XAVCS-I. That's all intra. You're going to be recording ProRes on your Ninja, all intra, and so you know is the fastest. It'll be easier on your computer and gives you the best quality. So you're going to want to leave that there. And obviously, as you can see, this is using the highest bit rate and quality that you possibly could use, and so that's why I set that way. So we're going to set this back off, and that's going to be it for basic settings here. Base ISO, you choose what you want, whatever your needs are. I use S709 for preview and LUT in case I want to preview the LUT, and I have that set to a button. I have it turned off, but I really don't need it. I could turn it on, but I only use it to see specific things. And I have in my menu, in these menus here, all these custom things in here that I need that I can get to very quickly. And so, see, I could change base ISO very quickly like this. So let's take a look at the Ninja and see what the settings are going to be there. And so first, obviously, source is going to be HDMI. Input, you don't want to use log HDR. That's only if you're shooting HDR. So you want to leave that to off. Legalize, you want that off if you're shooting log. If you're shooting standard, you can use it, legalize, but don't use this when shooting log, because turning on legalize doesn't give you the full range. It gives you a range limit. So you want the full range, and you want to keep it that way. So any record, I use ProRes HQ compression right there. ProRes HQ compression, that's what I'm using right there. That is the best setting for the best quality that you're going to get, but you set those as to your likings, what you want to do. And so yeah, so that's my setup with the Sony FX30 with the Atamos Ninja 5 Plus. That's what I'm doing, and that is the best way, I believe, to get the best quality for shooting externally to the Ninja 5 with the Sony FX3 or the FX30. Currently this is the FX30, but they're pretty much the same thing. And yeah, so this is what you want to do. If you have any questions, you can leave a comment, and I'll answer any questions that you have. But this works for me, and it works great. And anyway, hope this is helpful, and thanks for watching.